Uria! It seems today is the time for a proper, extended conversation with you, Uria. Given that you said you don't want to make me your enemy, I trust you won't avoid this moment. At least, not the Uria Mahel I know.
Don't worry, Ismay. I have no intention of completely avoiding this discussion. But my office is in shambles, and I need to restore order first. Plus, I have to ensure she returns safely to the dormitory. So, shall we postpone a conversation for a little while and wait a bit?
Regrettably, the matters you've mentioned can surely be postponed. I hope you understand that my time is as valuable as yours.
If you're insisting this much, then fine. But I'll keep her here with me. I can't send her back to the dormitory alone.
Sure.
She is unconscious, so she wouldn't be able to hear our conversation. That should be acceptable, right?
Very well. In any case, my first question is this. Why did the Divine Ministry's protective magic fail to activate during the recent fire? It was your office, of all places. If you lacked the ability to suppress this woman's curse and the resulting disaster, do you understand how catastrophic it could have been? You might have ended up in the same state as Highs 1,000 years ago, or worse, completely annihilated.
Perhaps. But no matter how dangerous the situation may seem, it wouldn't have escalated to the worst-case scenario you're imagining. Because I suppressed the protective magic myself when her curse began to surge.
Why?
To prevent unnecessary commotion from entangling her. If the incident had spiraled further, she would have been even more convinced that she's a seed of misfortune, forever shackled by that stigma.
Uria!
I've always suppressed the protective magic whenever something happened with her. My goal has always been the same, to avoid drawing attention unnecessarily. And yet, there's never been a truly critical event as a result. Which means the methods I've used so far weren't wrong.
Uria, do you even understand what you're saying? Do you grasp what you're saying right now? Do you genuinely believe nothing critical has ever occurred? Your realm was just shaken by a power that should never have run rampant. And if that isn't critical, what is? The aftershocks of this incident were so severe that they directly impacted me, disrupting the very access of Akavine. That's why I rushed to you in the first place. You need to recognize reality, Uria. This wasn't just a close call. It was a disaster that could have led to your annihilation as one of Akavine's 3 divine anchors. Have you forgotten why we abandoned human proxies and took up the role of heads ourselves? Haven't you witnessed with your own eyes how the greed of humans can spiral into chaos? Did we not witness with our own eyes how misguided human greed could ignite chaos? We saw how the desires of those who sought to transcend their roles as mere proxies of the divine and become gods themselves plunged Akavine into disorder. That is why we no longer rely on human proxies and chose to take direct control of Akavine ourselves. It was precisely because of those vile humans, those who shirked responsibility and pursued nothing but their own pleasure, the kind you despise so much, that we established the current system.
That's true.
Then why does the you of late appear no different from the kind of humans you so deeply despise? Why do you seem to shirk the responsibilities of a god of Akavine and the head of its organization, instead acting as if swayed only by fleeting emotions? And surely you are well aware of just how immense the power stolen by that human 1,000 years ago was, and how devastating the curse seeds he scattered across Akavine have been? You can't have forgotten the gravity of those facts, Uria.
Ismay, lower your voice a little. She has just begun to calm down. You shouldn't wake her now.
Uria, what are you?
And don't worry. There isn't a single thing among what you've said that I've forgotten. Why we came to act as heads ourselves. How I came to feel unending disillusionment toward countless humans and beings in Akavine. How the paradise we once wished for was abandoned piece by piece. How Akavine became a place with dazzling exteriors, but foundations as fragile as a sandcastle. I remember it all. I know we dreamed far too grandly, and yet, even now, this is the best we can do. This is the history of Akavine. So, there's no need to worry, Ismay.
Sure. Uria. Then why, when you remember all of this so clearly, are you acting so recklessly? At least in the case of Highs and the events 1,000 years ago, there were extenuating circumstances. But with you now, there's no comparable justification to be found. In fact, there's no reason for you to act this strangely at all. Unless, perhaps, you've developed some kind of ulterior motive?
Well, do you truly believe I'm such a being, Ismay?
What do you mean?
No, explaining it now won't change anything.
What are you...
More importantly, I've clarified how you view me, Ismay. So let's leave this conversation here.
Uria.
You don't want to push this conflict with me further, do you? And of course, I feel the same. To ease your concerns, I promise that if something similar happens again, I'll act to contain it before it escalates.
True.
I apologize for summoning you unexpectedly, but now I'd like you to leave, Ismay.
No, Uria.
Pardon?
I'm not finished yet. Our conversation isn't over.
What more do you want to say?
I trust you, Uria. At least for now, I still wish to trust you. I don't want to lose my longtime ally in such a hollow way. But precisely because I trust you, I've concluded that for your safety, I cannot ignore her presence any longer. Since you've previously stated that the reason you keep her close is to monitor her, I trust you won't refuse what I'm about to propose.
What are you asking for?
Given the current circumstances, we have no choice but to take her to Highs and let him properly determine her true nature.
Huh?
There is no one in Akavine who can see through another's essence as sharply as Highs. If it's true that the seed of that 1,000-year-old curse has taken root and ignited within her, Highs will be the one to uncover it. After all, the divine power stolen by that man 1,000 years ago originally belonged to Highs.
No. I'm afraid I can't agree to this, Ismay.
Uria?
I acknowledge that Highs has the sharpest eye among us for discerning a being's essence. But even Highs, when he first encountered her, failed to see through her nature. No. Rather, it's because Highs was who he is that he couldn't truly perceive her at all.
What do you mean?
Rather, it's that her curse shares the same nature as Highs' power, which would act as a barrier. With their forces aligned in nature, it would be easy for them to counteract each other's abilities, like how the same poles of a magnet repel each other. And to entrust Highs, who has continually abandoned his duties and responsibilities, with such a critical task of insight? Especially to Highs Karo, the very one who opposed cutting down that man's seeds 1,000 years ago? I am absolutely against it, Ismay. I cannot agree. Not now, not ever.
But Uria, Highs has recently shown signs of reflecting on his actions. He's grown rather subdued. And above all, you're well aware of how much he has changed over these 1,000 years, aren't you? The Highs of today would not recklessly impose his will and obstruct us as he did 1,000 years ago. If anything, he likely yearns for the events of 1,000 years ago to finally be resolved, even now. Through this woman, he'd help uncover the truth behind that incident, eliminate the curse's power, and agree to her annihilation.
Bah. And what will change now, just because you say so? Ha! Let me warn you, Ismay. You shouldn't place too much trust in Highs. Even if he appears subdued lately, it's because he has his own selfish agenda. Highs is not someone who will act in an ideal manner.
Uria, if you believe that his lack of purity would negatively affect the resolution of this matter...
No, Ismay. That's entirely the wrong assumption. And you're not unaware of this, are you? Surely you know. On the surface and over the short term, Highs may seem to have amassed the most impurity. But when considering Akavune's origins, there's no one as impure as I am. No one else has had to shoulder as many sordid deeds as I have.
Uria!
Well, even now, it's the same. What can I do about it? Ismay must preserve his purity, And Hais, insisting he wants no part of it, clings to his stubbornness. Naturally, all the impure tasks fell to me, because I was required by those who needed me. Regardless, I cannot agree to your proposal, so I'd like you to leave for now. Leave my realm, Ismay.
Uria, regrettably, but this time it's difficult for me to back down. I've heard your perspective regarding highs, so I'll table that for now. However, I must have a conversation with this woman. I hope you can concede some time for that.
Very well. But if you're going to talk with her, I want it to happen in my presence.
You don't need to worry about that. I respect both your realm and your opinions, Uria.
Well, whether I'm present or not, there's nothing you would hesitate to say. Intentional or not, that's half formal respect with some coercion mixed in, isn't it?
Uria.
Fine. Then let's wait until she regains her consciousness. Don't cry. Don't be sad. I'm here. Are you feeling better now? Calm down. I hate to bring this up so soon, but there's some troubling news.
What is it?
Ismay Heron, the head of the Holy Knights, wants to speak with you urgently. He is outside the door waiting right now.
Thank goodness, truly. If the head of the Holy Knights has come to see me so suddenly, I must assume the matter concerns me directly. I should meet him.
Are you sure? I'll stay by your side, of course, but your condition right now isn't ideal.
I'll be fine, Lord Uria. Knowing you're here with me makes all the difference.
Oh. Honestly, I wish you wouldn't meet with Ismay. As it stands now, no matter how charitable I describe his intentions, he isn't likely to approach you with goodwill.
Even so, I doubt he'd go as far as to try and annihilate me. I'll be okay. Huh?
I hear she is awake. I'll be entering now.
This is only the second time we've met formally, but unlike last time, he seems much more tense.
Ismay, please get to the point quickly. I've let you speak with her, but I don't intend for you to take up too much of her time.
Are they on bad terms now? The atmosphere feels so different from the last time we met at the restaurant. Yes, Head. Please, speak freely.
Can you stay away from Uria and the Divine Ministry for a while?
Pardon?
I'll be straightforward. I've already been informed about the incident this afternoon. Your curse's explosion. Because of this, both Uria and the Divine Ministry were nearly placed in danger, though he barely managed to subdue the impure power within you. But to put it plainly, Uria could only barely respond to your curse. For more secure containment, you'd be safer under my watch. My means of control are far more effective than Uria's.
Ismay?
What is he saying?
I'm not asking you to leave the Divine Ministry or Uria permanently. I'm asking if you can temporarily stay in the Holy Knights.
Ismay Heron.
I'm sorry, but I find it difficult to accept your proposal. Currently, as Lord Uria's apprentice assistant, I am serving at the Divine Ministry. And with his personal assistant on leave, I believe my absence would place an additional burden on him.
I understand that my request is sudden, but for your own sake, rejecting it would not be wise.
May I ask what do you mean by that?
You've worked alongside Uria for quite some time, so I assume you've noticed the changes in him. Surely you're aware of how unstable he's become lately? And I'm sorry to say this, but the changes in Uria began when you joined the Divine Ministry. For his stability, I hope you'll heed my request.
Because of me. Because of me, Lord Uria is suffering.
Now, Ismay, aren't your words terribly misguided?
What do you mean, Uria?
Claiming that I started to change when she joined is purely your own assumption. I've never changed, not once. I've always been the same impure existence. If I were to pinpoint when I changed, it would be a time so distant I can't even recall it. So stop placing the blame on her. I trust you understand my point now, Ismay.
What is this?
I'll ask you one thing. Has Uria ever told you that your aura bears an uncanny resemblance to Hyze's, the head of the Reaper Corps?
Pardon?
Judging by your reaction, I take it he hasn't told you. The Uria I know would never have overlooked such a crucial matter. Uria, this is something you should have made known to her. It's not just important, it's essential. So why is she entirely unaware of this?
You better watch your back. Who knows what kind of shady schemes the head of the Divine Ministry is plotting behind your back. Especially since you remind him so much of the head of the Reaper Corps, the one he despises the most.
Come to think of it, Schlafen said something similar. I dismissed it as a lie meant to confuse me, but why is the head of the Holy Knight saying the same thing?
If you truly didn't know, this alone should give you ample reason to leave Uria.
Wait, before that, can you explain what it means to have an aura similar to the head of the Reaper Corps?
Agree to my request, and I'll explain everything.
This is too much pressure. What should I do?
Don't worry. I'll explain it to you myself, right now.
Uria!
I avoided bringing it up because I thought it might be better left unsaid. But I suppose there's no choice now. But before that, Ismay, your squire's waiting outside the Divine Ministry. It seems he's come to find you. When a head's squire crosses into another organization's realm to find his leader, it's hardly a trivial matter. You should go see to it.
If you ever feel an undeniable sense of a something being off about Uria, be prepared to leave the Divine Ministry at a moment's notice.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier about what Ismay mentioned. It's just, I knew how much you were already uneasy around highs. And when I discovered this connection, I was afraid. Afraid that you would leave me, abandon the Divine Ministry, and go to highs in search of answers about your curse. That fear held me back from being honest with you sooner. That's the truth, no matter how it might sound. Even now, I don't want to explain this, but normally it's barely perceptible, but there's an underlying aura about you that feels similar to highs. And especially when your curse manifests, your presence becomes so strikingly similar to his, it's almost indistinguishable.
Why would that be? If both the head of the Holy Knights and you were saying the same thing, then it must mean you have some idea of the reason behind this. Why is that? Is my curse somehow connected to the head of the Reaper Corps? If so, did he implant this curse in me? If it's true, if someone who claims to be a god's proxy committed such terrible deeds, why would the god stand by and let it happen?
You.
Why would the gods you serve allow such a curse? One that took everything precious from me? Why wouldn't they look at me even once?
I'm sorry. Because of me. Because of my profound impurity. You are suffering so deeply, so painfully, all because of me, and only me.